Hey friends, welcome back to our channel. So 2 weeks ago, I redesigned our entryway and it's finally the warm and moody vibe I wanted. Now before I show you guys all the new updates that went into this space, I thought it would be fun to share the evolution of our entryway from the beginning. The very first project we did in this space was creating this framed accent wall to highlight photos of our girls. We used 4x4 lumber for the top and two sides, and a piece of 1x4 for the bottom. I wanted the wood grain to still be visible, so we used iron ore and diluted it 50% with water. We ordered these 24 by 36 inch custom framed canvas of our girls from Shutterfly, and on the bottom we added some rocks and faux succulents. The final detail to the wall was adding 3 wall planters, which included faux stems as well. This accent wall sets the tone of our home and lets you know immediately that our girls are most important to us. For some added contrast, the next project we tackled was repainting our front door and closet door. This definitely needed to be done in one day because we needed our front door back up before the evening. I started by cleaning the door and then we carried it into our makeshift painting room where Bernard spray painted 2 coats of Dorian Gray by Sharon Williams. Once the door was dry, we were then able to reinstall it, and I'm still really happy with this color. We get compliments all the time on it. Of course, all this gray and white left the space a bit monochromatic, and that's when I decided to infuse warmth with a modern geometric ceiling accent. The first part of this project was building a 2x4 base to create a floating ceiling effect. Next was cutting a 3/4 inch sheet of red oak plywood to follow the shape of our ceiling, taking into account the framed accent wall that already existed. Now, we do have a vent in our entryway ceiling, and to still allow airflow, Bernard added a bunch of holes along the 2x4 base, which were hidden by the plywood. Next was the process of creating the geometric pattern using 1x2s. This did take some trial and error, but eventually we found a design that worked. I then stained the entire plywood golden pecan, while Bernard spray painted the 1x2s a matte white. Installing the ceiling feature was definitely the hardest part of this project. Bernard secured a 2x4 base into the ceiling using 6-inch bolts. He then wrapped LED lighting around the base, and it did look pretty cool. Initially, we attached the 1x2s to the plywood with glue, but then they weren't holding very well, and so we turned the plywood over and added some screws from the underside. That way there'd be no screw holes to fill. The addition of 2 semi-flush lighting completed this ceiling project, and at the time I did like the end result. It was visually interesting and the space now had more dimension and warmth. But that was a year ago, and since then I've been gravitating so much more to dark colors and using them to define warmth and comfort for me and in our home. This realization has led to the next round of updates that we've since completed in our entryway. We'll dive into those upgrades next week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.